Now on CoastTV News.
Oak Orchard overflow, major flooding from the back bays. We'll show you how some people are still stranded.
Water on the road. Which back roads in Fenwick Island are still flooded?
2 weeks into the government shutdown, neither party seems to be willing to give in.
And the nor'easter that we've been tracking is finally winding down, but it's leaving a lot of flood problems in its wake.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Several feet of water covering roads in Oak Orchard. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight with the lingering effects of this nor'easter.
Multiple road closures in the Oak Orchard area as roads there are still flooded out. CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken is live there in Oak Orchard. Emma, people who live there say they haven't been able to leave their homes in days.
Maddie, flooding from storms like this isn't anything new for those who live here in Oak Orchard, but people today telling me this is the worst that they've seen it. You can see just how long of a stretch of road the water covers. There's some dumpsters that have floated away and more off frame too. And River Road is closed in several areas along the road. There are those orange barricades saying road closed. Some drivers still choosing to go through, and one we spoke with earlier saying at its deepest, the water is several feet. Douglas Bath says water was flooding over this wall in front of his house and was reaching all the way to the second step.
This is the worst I've ever seen it.
Bath, like several others we talked to, tells me he hasn't been able to leave home in days. And for Austin Decker, his struggle was more on the return journey.
Yeah, I did it this morning, yesterday, the day before, and in past years. Salt water, don't want to get my truck messed up.
Ronald Corso had different plans.
I was a little worried when I got about halfway through that I did made a mistake, but I made it.
But Bath says not everyone on River Road has been so lucky.
It's interesting watching the trucks come through, and a car sits up there and watches the truck and says, "Oh, I can make it." And we had to push a girl out. And, yeah, her little car, I don't know what it did, but it didn't run.
Closed roads, fallen porta potties, and River Road living up to its name once again. Some people who live here tell us they've been working to get storm drains here replaced for years, and that it's finally happening this month. So they say between those new storm drains and check valves, it should certainly make a difference the next time a storm like this hits their community. Reporting live here in Oak Orchard, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Emma, thank you. Heavy rains and strong winds from the nor'easter also left Fenwick Island flooded, in Long Neck as well. This is Long Neck specifically. You'll see streets in the shallows, driveways, front yards. They're waterways now, and you can see people trying to get through on a four-wheeler.
Just never ending. Mm-hmm. It just seems like it's been here for a week. That's and that's. It's not that bad. I know it's going to go away, but it's taken a lot longer than usual. Now, certainly Jim's not alone in hoping the flooding will subside there in Long Neck.
We've already seen this today, walking through water to get back home. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Fenwick Island. Kevin, some back roads still seeing that flooding.
Charlie, we're on the bayside here in Fenwick Island, and right behind me you'll see Dagsboro Street is currently covered in water. And as we were setting up, we saw cars stopping on the end, kind of stopping near where the water gets deep and turning around. Now these are the conditions people are having to deal with higher flooding, making traveling difficult, cars driving through water, warning signs posted for local drivers, and water from the bay overflowing. We spoke with the former mayor of Fenwick Island, who said flooding like this is happening more often.
It's definitely getting worse, and obviously something needs to be done to help.
Now, locals we spoke with here on Dagsboro Street say that flooding like this happens usually after a storm, but hopes to find some solution to help with the flooding. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Fenwick Island, Coast TV News.
Evan, thank you. And this was the scene last night on Route 1 when it was shut down due to bayside flooding. Sections of the road were closed for a few hours. Now, DelDOT says Back Bay flooding was to blame, and the Back Bay flooding was coming through the drainage systems and pooling at lower sections of the road. Construction's been ongoing on the ocean side of Route 1 for the last year or so to keep water from coming over the dunes, but neighbors are now wondering if officials need to do more to protect the bayside.
People with emergencies, people, trying to leave. It's hard when you have to go alternate routes.
DelDOT is working on solutions for bayside flooding, including elevating some problem sections of the road to minimize flooding. However, DelDOT has to make sure any spots that they raise don't impact other land or properties.
So that was last night. This is right now as we take a look into Lewis and we check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams on our First Alert weather.
Well, right now we're still seeing the effects of the last residual effect, of the nor'easter that's continued to cause just more in the way of some vibrant waves along portions of Ocean City, and will slip down to 62 degrees. Now, here's the deal. For today, we're going to stay breezy, and clouds are going to stick around the nor'easter exits our immediate vicinity. And then as we go into Wednesday, we're looking for a lot of relief, a whole lot. But in the meantime, we are still plagued with problems with some gusty winds. Small craft advisory is in effect until Thursday off of the coast for us in Sussex. And we're also concerned about 25-mile-per-hour winds off the coast continuously until this evening for us from Ocean City. Now, we also have the coastal flood advisory, downgraded from a warning, but now an advisory is still active for folks in West Ocean City, Fenwick Island, Ocean Pines, as well as throughout all of Dewey Beach, Bottom Hills, as well as Ocean View. Now, coming up, I'm going to give you a detailed analysis of what's happening with the next wave of high tides and what kind of damage it may leave as the storm is finally vacating the premises.
Thank you, Paul. This brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how did this recent storm affect you?
Let's take a look at the results so far. 48% say no impact, 45% say minor inconvenience, 2% say major disruption, and 5% say they loved the rain.
And if you haven't voted yet, it's easy to do. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app.
With deer hunting in season, Fish and Wildlife units are reminding all hunters you can only hunt on property you have permission to be on, and hunters are not allowed to hunt with guns within 100 yards of homes and 50 yards when using a bow unless they have specific permission. Important here, boat blinds for waterfowl hunting must be spaced out 1,500 feet from one another, and the Operation Game Theft program the state runs has a $1,000 reward for reports that leads to anybody getting arrested or convicted for hunting violations.
Coming up with a plan, that is what the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control is doing. They're going to hold a meeting to draft the 2025 Delaware Wildlife Action Plan. 2 public listening sessions. Those will be held for the meeting, one on October 28th at 1 p.m. at the Little Creek Hunter Education Training Center in Dover. The other meeting will be held virtually. It's going to be October 29th at 6 p.m. The new plan will serve as a 10-year strategy guide for conserving Delaware's fish, wildlife, and habitats through 2035. The plan serves to identify species and habitats in need of conservation.
38-year-old Pennsylvania man Cody Blamer has pled guilty to firebombing Governor Josh Shapiro's home. Authorities said Molotov cocktails were used to ignite the home in April. Now, Blamer pled guilty to attempted murder, aggravated arson, terrorism, and was sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison. Balmer said he did it because he believed the governor supported Israel. Nobody, though, was hurt.
5 major broadcast networks say they will not sign a new press policy going into effect at the Pentagon. NBC News, ABC News, CBS News, CNN News, and Fox News Media issued a joint statement today declaring this new measure, which says reporters could have their press passes revoked if they publish information that the Pentagon has not authorized for release, including unclassified information. Now, the networks say in their statement that the policy is, quote, without precedent and threatens core journalistic protections, unquote. The government shutdown is now 2 weeks old, with both Democrats and Republicans blaming each other for the stalemate.
NBC's Julie Sirkin shows us how while lawmakers point fingers, Americans who depend on the government for vital services and paychecks are left waiting.
14 days into the government shutdown, and no sign of either side budging.
It's 2 weeks of Democrats in Congress inflicting untold pain on the American people for nothing other than pure politics.
The sticking point, health care.
This is the plan of this Republican Party. Again, the same ones who had the whole keys to the kingdom, who control the White House, the Senate, and the United States House of Representatives. So this is their shutdown.
Democrats are demanding Republicans extend Affordable Care Act subsidies that expire this year. But Republicans won't negotiate until Democrats vote to reopen the government. Democrats warning costs will skyrocket if the Obamacare credits run out, leaving many Americans worried and wondering
whether I can afford health care.
The deep divisions in Washington now literally on display across the country. With travelers beginning to face longer lines and delays at the nation's airports, the Department of Homeland Security has released this video message shown at TSA checkpoints.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted.
But officials at more than half a dozen airports are refusing to play the video because of its political nature. With the Trump administration laying off at least 4,000 workers across numerous federal agencies. Air traffic controllers today calling on Congress to end the shutdown.
Air traffic controllers are out moving over 45,000 flights today. 3 million passengers, tons of cargo that keeps America moving. Yet every single day that they show up to work now, they don't know when they'll get paid again.
With no end in sight, the stalemate adding more stress to already stressful jobs.
Now, the administration announced that they are going to pay members of the military. They're not going to miss their paycheck tomorrow. But here's the thing. I talked to members of the U.S. Capitol Police here who are protecting lawmakers every single day. They're showing up to work having missed their paycheck today. And again, there's no end in sight to this shutdown. So experts warn from Main Street to Wall Street, the health of the economy could really start to suffer the longer this goes on. In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
Scrolling on your phone, new updates to Instagram to protect teens.
And as we continue to track what's happening with this nor'easter, it's still leaving some problems behind.
But first, analyzing the development process, what Sussex County Council dug into for hours today. Up next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
Final recommendations read out and analyzed for Sussex County Council. Today, Council reviewed all 20 recommendations for land use reform in Sussex. County staffers said some of the ideas were achievable, like forest preservation, but some of the bigger items, like comprehensive rezoning, were described as quite difficult. Another frustration voiced by Council and staff today is that while the county handles land use, the state handles roads. So Council members said a broad approach to fix growth is out of their control.
One of the biggest challenges we have are road capacities, and the pace of development is outstripping our road capacities in many cases. And yet the county has no ability to build roads. We rely on the state and DelDOT to do that, and so coordinating all those things and trying to minimize the inconvenience of people as growth continues, and probably growth will continue for the next several years at least.
It's important to note today was the first time Council was able to digest these recommendations and look forward. Concrete changes will come later in the form of ordinances if Council chooses to take action.
Coming up next, Paul Williams in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He has your full forecast after this.
Well, it's a good thing that this nor'easter is finally getting out of here and getting out of the way so we can take the time out to recover from the coastal flooding that's been rampant throughout our area. In Rehoboth Beach right now, the water has receded from where it was initially, but things are getting a little bit better, although the seas and the waves are still a little bit on the rough side. We're at 63 degrees by 9 o'clock this evening with partly cloudy skies. Overall, for our cycling forecast, we're looking forward to stay moderate for us, but we're looking forward to become a little bit problematic as we go into the early morning hours because the cutting chill that's going to hit us early in the morning time. That's just a quick view of what's happening. Now, here's a look at what's happening with our live radar. We're looking at everything subsiding very quickly for us for right now, but we do have widespread concern for still a little bit of flooding left in the area because of the advisory that's in place. Now, this is nothing like what we experienced as far as the warning. So this is backing off tremendously. This is kind of like what's left over still causing problems, okay? In Ocean City, West Ocean City. We do have small craft advisories in effect along the coast because we're bracing for still 25-mile-per-hour winds, but cheer up, at least it's not 40 or 50. or near 60, like we were the previous few days. So the advisory is likely to expire for us as we go into Wednesday evening, and that leans all the way up towards the Ocean City area. But the low pressure system that was causing us the misery, it's now out of here. Now, the last 24 hours, we've had over an inch of rain in Indian River Inlet, just shy of that Rehoboth Beach, almost 3/4 of an inch in Harbison, and just over a half an inch, for example, in Lewis. Now, from the observed rain from our official sites, we had the most impressive coming out of Ocean City at just well over 1/3 of an inch of rain. Now, coastal flooding threat is going to stay minor for the most part for the entire coastal region. And as I take a look at the future waves, we're looking at maybe 4 to 8 at the most, 4 up here with a darker green with Lewis, but possibly 8 down here south of Ocean View. But other than that, we see it pull out very quickly. The darker greens indicating the water is falling. Okay, so for our tidal flooding levels, for Lewis, for example, we're at moderate for tonight, and then we go down to no problem. For Ocean City, we're at minor, worst case scenario, then we go down to no problem. And that's the same situation for us in Chincoteague. So it's getting progressively better. Temperatures are in the 60s. We have the winds coming out of the north, and we want to keep a close eye on the winds because for midnight, we're looking at about 23-mile-per-hour winds, but we could get it up to 25 going into the 6 o'clock or 6 in the morning time for Thursday. And then for Thursday, we start off at 46 inland and 50 along the coast, and we'll warm up to the low 60s, best case scenario. And then we're going to watch out for the next round of rain. For the next few days in a row, we are bone dry, even for Sunday. Monday is a different story because Monday, here comes a big slice of rain that pushes across for Monday afternoon, and it continues going into Tuesday morning. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Once again, rain holds off until next Monday.
Thank you, Paul. In Milton, the Milton Police Department will host a community drug take-back campaign on October 25th between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Community members are urged to safely discard expired, unused, and unwanted medication at the Milton Police Department. The DEA, who is partnered with the department, will collect vape pens and other e-cigarette devices, but they do ask that you remove the batteries. This is a free and anonymous service to combat drug abuse and theft. No questions will be asked. Coming up tonight on Delmarva Sports Network at 5:30, it is live when Caesar Rodney hosts Silesium in boys soccer, then catch the final score at 10:30, and then field hockey at 6 when Newark Charter goes on the road to take on Cape Henlopen. And coming up, more on how the government shutdown is impacting service member pay. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 5. Coast Guard members will get paid despite the government shutdown. While the Coast Guard is a branch of the Armed Services, it's part of the Department of Homeland Security. And Secretary Kristi Noem said on social media that her agency has worked out what she called an innovative solution to ensure the Coast Guard does get paid. The Coast Guard confirmed its members would receive a paycheck between October 15th and 17th. Military members were set to miss their first paycheck October 15th.
After launching teen accounts last year, Instagram unveils PG-13 protections for teens. The teen accounts had default privacy protections and content limits, especially with violence. Instagram will not promote and might even hide those posts. Those include those with strong language or posts that could encourage harmful behaviors. TikTok teens won't also be able to follow accounts that regularly share age-inappropriate content. The new restrictions automatically apply to Instagram users who are under 18. And now a live look into Ocean City. One more check on your forecast after this.
So at Rehoboth, we're looking at 63 degrees actually. Small craft advisory, 25-mile-per-hour winds. That's what we're still watching out for off of the coast. And we still have an active concern for flooding. Coastal flood advisory is in effect. It's no longer a warning. It's been downgraded to an advisory. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Robert Turner of Ocean View. Congratulations, Robert, courtesy of Hall Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstead, Mandales, Federico. And you can call 443-880-9100. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, I want you to notice something. 71 on Wednesday afternoon, then we drop all the way down to 41. That 41, I fudged that number a little bit. I didn't want to shock anybody because really it said 39, 38. See, that's the look I was trying to avoid. So we're going to pretend like it's 41.
It's going to feel like 39.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the wind's going to feel like 32.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Paul. And hey, thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6 when hopefully it won't be 39 degrees. Have a great evening.